Hello everyone, welcome back to Blacksmith Studios. My name is Jack, and today we will be doing a breakdown of the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 teaser trailer. As a huge Five Nights at Freddy's fan, I'd love to talk about this film, especially since the second game was actually the first game I actually saw. And of course, I was one of those kids who watched the Markiplier playthroughs of the first and second game. And so I just thought I'd do a quick breakdown for you because it's got me hyped. But anyway, enough rambling because you know I do. Let's get into the breakdown. We open up on a poster of the original Freddy's gang. This is likely back at the restaurant from the first film, as we do know that some YouTubers, such as Dorko and 8-Bit Ryan, visited the set, and we saw that both restaurants will play a role in the movie. The restaurant from the first film, and the second establishment where the toy animatronics are likely kept. We then cut to an animatronic endoskeleton lying down as its eye lights up. I'm sure film theory can do a better analysis and correct me if I'm wrong, but this looks to be one of the endoskeletons for the toy animatronics. So it could be that someone has been rebuilding the toy animatronics or building them initially after the disappearance of William Afton. I believe that this could be Henry Emily, who I'll go into about later. The second game takes place years before the first game in the game universe, so it could be that the toy animatronics are more likely to be rebooted rather than created after the events of the first film. It's just that their designs look so sleek and new, and with this taking place after the first film, it's shocking that they look in such good condition. As we see the Blumhouse logo, we hear two things. One is the classic music box sound that is played during the second game, which prevents the puppet or the marionette from attacking you. Now, in the later games, it is revealed that the child who possesses the puppet is Charlotte Emily, the daughter of Henry Emily. So now I'm going to go into Henry Emily. He essentially started the Freddy's franchise with his partner, William Afton, who, of course, became the serial killer and later into Springtrap, as we saw in the first film. But Henry Emily is the one who actually created the animatronics. So Henry was the builder, the mechanic, and William was the business guy behind the franchise. But moving away from the game timeline, I'm hoping that the puppet does make an appearance in this movie, which I really, really hope, which kind of sets up the idea of Henry likely playing a role in this movie as well. And he could have actually either, awaken this second establishment to draw those old animatronics back to free them, or he could literally be creating that second establishment during the process of the movie or after William disappeared after the first film. I don't completely know. I don't know how much these flashbacks, or if there are any flashbacks in this film, and how often they'll be. So it's quite interesting to see how they're going to make a prequel game a sequel film. So, that's going to be exciting. But I do think that if Henry does kind of interfere and try and free those children, I think Mike, Vanessa, and Abby could initially see him as an antagonistic figure. But, of course, we'll have to wait and see. The second thing we hear during the Blumhouse fanfare is I thought initially was Freddy's voice, but I think it could also be Matthew Lillard's William Afton saying, "Are we ready to start the show?" Which further proves that there will probably be scenes set in the past, and we could actually see the origin of how William became the man he is. We then see a shot of the establishment. Within the establishment, it looks very busy, and it's actually open to the children, unlike the first film. There seems to be a lot to do here as well. Little games here and there, a little spinning wheel with animatronic faces on it, a bit of cosplay with the kids. It's interesting because this area looks outside, but this could be the Faz Fest, which is been referenced in the newer games, but it's basically a festival where the Fazbear Company runs it. Now it's just really interesting because it depicts of what the timeline could be. It's kind of, when was this second establishment we're going to see in the game? When was that built? How does that connect to the first establishment we saw in the first film? What's Fazfest in this sort of world? How does that connect to it? What did the toy animatronics do? Why do they look so clean in the present day? There's so many sort of thoughts that I've got flying around here in terms of timeline. But I do think that this is set in the past. This is probably when when Fazbear Entertainment or the Fazbear franchise was so big and loads of kids loved going. It could be that William and Henry set up these two establishments, and FazFest was an idea from William to lure as many kids as possible and kill as many as possible. I think that's quite an interesting thing. But no, I'm quite curious to how they're going to do it. With FNAF 2, of course, being a prequel game, it's interesting how they're going to make the second film a sequel. I reckon they're going to split the movie kind of into past and presents with a lot of flashbacks, and that's going to be kind of like the dream sequences from the first film. We cut to Abby riding her bike towards this new establishment. This is the one from this film. This is not the one from the first film. And now this is further explained in the next shot, where we see a note on a door reading "Gone to fix my friends," which is found by Mike. All the while, in the background, we still hear the puppet's music box and children counting down from 5. This shows that Abby will want to free the child spirits within the animatronics and will run away to go and fix it, possibly because Mike refuses to let her go. At the end of the first movie, the animatronics attacked William Afton and he was caught in the spring locks of the spring Bonnie suit, turning him into the infamous spring trap. For all we know, the animatronics were just left at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, so it could be that since the events of the first movie, Abby is haunted by the spirits and goes to find the animatronics to finally free them. But it could be that someone takes the animatronics and they go missing until Mike and Vanessa discover the second establishment where they are being kept. It could be that either the second establishment that the film uses is shut down, just like the first one, or it could be newly opened. We really don't know. But a theory of mine is that Henry will take advantage of William Afton's disappearance and open the second establishment with his newly created or newly rebooted toy animatronics. Through this, he can lure the old animatronics back to this establishment, trap them until he figures out a way to free them. However, from the animatronics' perspectives, and as well as Abby, Mike, and Vanessa, Henry could be that antagonistic figure who's trapped them. And it could be that the toy animatronics are kind of more advanced animatronics being used to defend them. We could even have the older animatronics from the first film slowly become the withered animatronics as Henry tries to take them apart and fix them back together and free the kids. We then cut to Vanessa meeting with Mike at his front door, as she says, "They're out there, Mike." This is further evidence that the animatronics are missing, along with Abby, and of course Mike and Vanessa will try to track them down. The next shot is of Toy Bonnie. Although the shot is kind of obscured by a yellow show stage curtain, it's clear it's Toy Bonnie. Continuing Vanessa's conversation earlier, Mike asks where, which then cuts to a hand pressing a button labelled Showtime. It's hard to determine who this is, but Mike could actually get a job at the new Freddy's establishment and work there to try and infiltrate it and find the animatronics. But I also think that the person pressing this button could be William Afton from the past. He did say, if it was his voice from before, when he said it's showtime, that makes sense. As the button is pressed, the counting children stop in the background as well as the music box, and we see a character. I'm afraid I don't really know who, but he's looking through a window of a door in a hallway. I believe at this new Freddy's establishment, or maybe somewhere else. When, of course, Mike asks Vanessa where, Vanessa answers everywhere at this point. You hear it in the background. And I'm curious about this, because why would Vanessa answer, where are they? They could be anywhere. The only way that the children could be everywhere is that they are constantly haunting them, or that they have left the animatronic bodies and are finding their way to new bodies, for example, the toy animatronics. It's just interesting why Vanessa says that if they are referring to the kids are everywhere. It just makes no sense. As this character, though, looks through the window, we see eyes begin to glow and stare back at him. I think that this could definitely be Toy Chica, specifically because the next shot of the animatronic smashing through the window, dragging the man into the dark room, has yellow arms and, of course, presumably kills him. We see a few quick shots here, one of Toy Chica's feet, A shot of Mangle smashing through a window, which looks to be into a house. And by the way, Mangle looks incredible here. Blumhouse has stated that this film will be much more terrifying and will up the ante of horror. And using Mangle can definitely achieve that. We then see a shot of Abby, Mike, and Vanessa, almost like they're reacting to Mangle breaking into their house. It could be that the animatronics escape the establishment to hunt down the protagonist. We then see a shot of Toy Chica lifting up the garage door. Oh god, that makes me sound so British. Garage door? Whatever you want to say. Having the toys track down Mike to his house and break in sounds absolutely terrifying and would be incredible to see. But it looks like they're going to break into other houses as well. This could be an attempt by Henry to ensure that the people who do know about the children cannot spread the word. We then see a shot of Toy Bonnie lifting what looks to be a screwdriver or maybe a pin or a knitting needle or something like that. With the next shot showing an older couple hiding behind the couch staring up at Toy Bonnie. It could be that the toys actually do escape and torment the nearby town, giving kind of similar vibes to the Halloween movies, which would be really, really cool to see and yeah, would definitely add to the horror. We cut to another house with a hallway with doors slamming closed by themselves on either side as we see a dark figure at the end of the hallway. This could be William Afton or even Henry Emily. I believe that it is William, and this could be his spirit wandering around, or it could be an illusion for the characters. It could be another dream sequence, for example. This scene does seem to have an eerie, ghostly feel, and with William trapped in Springtrap, I don't see any other reason how he could be there. But again, it could still be a flashback to William killing maybe Charlotte Emily. This could be that moment. We don't know. Got a few more quick shots here. One of Vanessa pointing a gun. The next of Balloon Boy, who looks absolutely terrifying. In the first film, of course, there were some jump scares of a Balloon Boy toy. So the fact that we are having a full-size Balloon Boy in this movie is going to be really scary. The next shot is of a yellow hand picking up a bladed weapon of some kind. I believe it's a knife. And I think that this is Springtrap. A part of me hopes that Springtrap isn't the main part of this story. But if we see him come back at the end of this movie as a setup for the final film, then that would be very exciting. We then see a shot of Mangle grabbing someone from above and pulling him upwards towards the ceiling. Whilst I cannot tell who this character is, Mangle grabbing someone from the ceiling just, again, sounds absolutely terrifying. This film is clearly shaping up to be more scary than the first film. And whilst I did love the first film, I will admit it did lack horror. I think then the next shot is of Mangle as we see her stab a piece of herself through a car windshield. Again, another very terrifying Halloween vibe going on here. This teaser trailer is giving the sort of theme and the concept of this film, and already it's really exciting. What I thought about this scene though with the car windshield, it could be that this is the cab driver from the first movie. He was played by a FNAF YouTuber called Corey X Kenshin, I believe it was. So it'll be really exciting to see if he returns again as a running joke throughout the trilogy. We then see another shot of the main characters in the house again with horrified looks on their faces before we cut to black and hear the words "Showtime" being shouted in the background. Now again, not 1,000% sure, but I think this could definitely be Matthew Lillard's William Afton. We then cut to who I think is McKenna Grace screaming at the camera in a dark room of sorts before we are then shown the title card for the movie Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Now, I'm not sure who she could be playing, if it is McKenna Grace, of course, and I'm shocked that she's actually in the movie, but my wild theory is that she could be playing Charlotte Emily, also known as, of course, Henry Emily's daughter. Now, she was one of the first victims of William Afton in the game, and after her death, like I said, she possessed the puppet, who I think should definitely play a major role in this movie, so it will be exciting to see how the film will adapt that. As the title card disappears, we see a quick shot of Toy Freddy in all of his glory before the teaser ends. Now, this is the bit where it could be at FazFest, this moment where William kills the children, or it could be another moment in the past. But it looks to be kind of like a Fast Fest vibe. We have seen references to that. Now that I've gone through a few of my theories, and some of the possible scenes we could be getting, I just want to give my honest opinion as a FNAF fan. I am very excited for this film. It looks like the creators took on board all of the opinions that fans gave after the first film, and so they really implemented it into the second film. It's difficult to figure out what the plot of the movie is, I will admit, especially on a timeline level. However, I do believe that Henry Emily and Charlotte Emily will be the main focus, with the film taking place over the two eras, the past and the present. The past reveals more about William and Henry, how William became the killer we know him as, how him and Henry started the establishment, and then in the present, of course, slowly creeping up to the resurrection of William Afton as Springtrap towards the end of the movie. Regardless, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the film adapts FNAF 2, a game that is, like I said, usually a prequel, but is now being turned into a sequel. So I wonder how they're going to do that while keeping the story true to the fans. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I do apologize if I wasn't quite articulate in this video. I have had a script, but unfortunately I kind of had to, rush it together. Had a bit of trouble personally recently, a lot of car trouble, a lot of finance problems comes with that, of course. So it's been very stressful, but I wanted to get this out anyway. So I do appreciate the wait, and I do appreciate your patience with hearing me ramble on and on and on. If you have any thoughts, theories, or comments, then please put them down in the comments section below. I'd love to discuss this film with you all. If you like this video, then please like and subscribe for more content like this. But for now, thank you all again so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.